It's Monday, October 21st, Pixel Day. Welcome to the Android Police Podcast. I'm Ryan Whitwam, and with me here to talk about the Pixel 4 and other things is former Android Police senior editor and now the editor-in-chief of Review Geek, Cameron Summerson.
Hi, everybody.
So it's Pixel Day, but we can also talk about the other Google things. We haven't posted our review yet, our full review, and I don't think Review Geek has either. We both posted, hands-on and various thoughts about the phone, though. We've had the phone since last week, since the Pixel Day. So some sites went with their full reviews already. And I think the consensus is that everybody generally likes the phone, but people are kind of not super excited about the battery life.
That's I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. The battery life is, man, that's the killer thing with this phone.
So did you have the XL or the regular?
No, I've got the small one. I have the regular, the regular 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a couple of people at the event. So we have both an XL and a regular. I've been using the XL, and I've been getting notes on the battery life from Ryan, who's been using the small one, and he's like, he seems very not excited about the battery life. But it sounds to me pretty similar to what the small Pixel 3 was last year, which is, maybe slightly below average, like 4-ish hours of screen on time, like over the course of like a work day. Which, I don't know. I mean, I'm not super excited about the idea of paying almost $1,000 for a phone and it just barely getting a day of battery life.
No, I completely agree. I don't even think I'm going to get anywhere close to 4 hours of screen on time on average. I'm getting maybe 3. But I think really the idle battery is what's killing it. Like the idle battery is so poor. I think according to the battery stats, it gets 18 hours of battery, like for a full day. And I mean, it's the worst battery life I've seen on a phone in a while.
So the XL, I feel like it's fine. It seems adequate. I mean, I've been getting 5 or 6 hours of screen time over like 20-ish hours of total use. So, I mean, I feel like that, again, it's pretty close to the larger Pixel from last year.
Yeah, that seems on par for most phones, I think, right now.
Yeah, I feel like Google really needs to be aware of this. I'm trying to decide how much I want to ream them in the review over the battery life. Because, I mean, for me, like, I think it's fine for the XL. Like, if I bought the phone and it got that kind of battery life, I'd be like, well, that's fine. I guess, if I expected that going in. But I just really want Google to understand that it wouldn't be that hard to put a slightly larger battery in this phone.
No,
in both of these phones. Like, they could make them just a little bit thicker. I know we like, I feel like people say this on the internet all the time, just make the phone thicker and put a bigger battery in. But like, sometimes that's just really a good idea. Google is clearly like behind all of the other like high-end Android manufacturers right now.
I think Google's always behind the high-end manufacturers when it comes to pretty much everything. I mean, like the RAM in this phone, 6 gigs of RAM, which is better than 4 that we've seen in the past, 2 or 3 Pixel phones.
Yeah, see, I don't think 6 gigs is a problem though. It's enough that I don't notice like weird, like stuff falling out of memory like on last year's phones.
No, I agree. I haven't noticed it either, and I've been using it. I'll tell you what though, because of the battery issues, I'm reluctant to use it as heavily as I would another phone. So I have battery anxiety with this phone, so I use it a little bit less. So I don't know if I can accurately gauge the RAM situation because of that, because of how I use the phone too. Also, the fact that you can't use G Suite accounts with the new Google Assistant, that means I use it less too.
That strikes me as just a ridiculous bug that they didn't have time to fix, and they're like, whatever, it's just like this right now, guys.
Just unreal. Yeah.
It's really dumb. I mean, like, I spent probably an hour trying to figure out, like, after I got the phone, why I didn't have the new assistant. I ended up completely resetting it before I figured out that it was the G Suite thing. They had to like bury it in the reviewer's guide.
Yep. Yep. And then you remove the G Suite account and all of a sudden, boom, there's the new assistant. But yeah, no, I mean, because I use my phone a lot for my work email and, work communications, calendar, stuff like that. I'm using it less because of that too. So, but yeah, no, I mean, going back to the RAM thing, I haven't really noticed either. It'd still be nice to see. I think 8 is the sweet spot, but
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like 8 might make you feel better, but I don't think it's going to make any sort of difference in the way you use the phone. I mean,
I like to feel better.
Google optimizes Android pretty well. I mean, they got along with 4 gigs last time, even though there was some weird stuff. I think 6 is plenty for a Pixel. Like a Samsung phone that has 30,000 pre-installed services that you don't care about. Yeah, that probably needs 8 or 10 gigs of RAM, which is ridiculous. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, if you buy a Pixel, I think you're probably not expecting amazing battery life. You are probably expecting an amazing camera, and good news. I think the camera's pretty amazing.
Oh my God. I think it's the most amazing, like the things that this camera is capable of is absolutely, it's nothing short of mind blowing. To think that you can do these things from a smartphone camera is just absolutely unreal.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Like at the event, I think that when we first got to use the phone, we were all kind of confused. Like, wait, how do I switch to the telephoto lens? Like you open it, it's just like, this is like the same viewfinder that we had before. And after talking to Google's camera people, I feel like what they're trying to do is they just want you to zoom in to whatever composition you want for your photo and take a picture, not have to worry about which lens you're using, because they have this crazy super zoom algorithm that sharpens pictures to it's shockingly good. Like you can zoom into 8x and photos still look pretty good, and the zoom lens is only 2x optical. It's shockingly good.
Honestly, the 8x zoom, which they kind of showed this at the keynote or at the event too, but the 8x zoom is better than a 2x cropped.
Yes, yeah, they were very clear. Like, don't take like zoomed out photos and crop them, because it'll look better if you use like our processing in the camera app.
Yeah, and it's so true. I've spent more time probably playing with that than anything else on the phone. I'm just like, hey, that thing's way over there. Let me see how this 8x zoom looks. And it is every single time I'm still just as impressed as the first time I used it. It is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, it like the Pixel camera. I think it definitely blows like every other Android phone out of the water right now. And I mean, I don't use iPhones often. Like my wife has one, and I've seen her take pictures on it. I feel like it's better than certainly last year's iPhone. I don't know about the new one. But
yeah, I haven't used the iPhone 11. I have a 10R, but that's the newest iPhone I have. I carry it alongside my whatever Android phone every day, but I haven't used the new one. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comparisons, mostly on Twitter, between the two phones, and they're pretty close. But we also have to think that the new, what do they call it? Whatever the new update coming to the iPhone camera is called.
Deep Fusion.
Deep Fusion, that's it. Yeah, I couldn't remember the fusion word. I was like, it's something.
Yeah, I don't know if I really trust that Apple has the same kind of computational deep learning photography chops that Google has. I mean, Google's been doing this stuff for years. Like even back in the Nexus era, there were some pretty cool like computational photography things you could do. But like with the Pixels, like they just really kicked it into overdrive, and every year it's just gotten better and better.
So have you tried astrophotography yet?
So I tried. I mean, I live kind of close to a big city, so it's not great for me. But I've used it to see how it works. I'm going to try to take some more pictures with it tonight.
Yeah, I went out last night, and I just went to like a local park, and kind of away from everything. And it takes it took on average about 4 to 4.5 minutes for every shot. So you have to have a tripod, but.
Yeah, you can stop it before it gets to the end of the counter, but like it says on the screen, let it run longer for a better picture or whatever.
I was able to get a comparison using just night sight, because the weird thing about astrophotography is there's no way to manually enable it. It just automatically detects.
You just point the phone like at the sky at night. It's like, oh, astrophotography mode. Okay,
yeah, it's well, I think it has something to do with like the light levels, the detected light levels or something. You put it in night sight and it's like astrophotography enabled, which I found in a couple of situations to be kind of frustrating, because all I wanted to do was take a night sight picture but then it's like, oh, hey, this is going to take 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just stop it after a couple seconds, and it would probably be like. I think it's using like the same technology.
Yeah, I was able to grab a night sight picture and then right after use the astrophotography to compare the two, and I mean the difference is absolutely insane. That those two pictures are actually in my hands-on, my initial impressions, whatever you want to call it, my non-review review. But if anybody wants to go look at that, because the difference between night sight and astrophotography is just it's absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe it when I actually looked at the full-size pictures.
Yeah. So yeah, Google's doing like a lot of crazy, like, I mean, like the noise, the denoising in night sight this year seems way better. Like it's noticeable. Yep. And it also seems to capture a little bit faster. I mean, night sight always takes, a couple of seconds, compared to just a regular photo. But man, I think it is worth your time.
So worth it. Yeah.
So Google only has one front-facing camera this year, but there's a bunch of other stuff on the bezel, which is why it has like the big front bezel, which I thought would bother me a lot more than it does. I don't love it, but I feel like it hasn't really,
Man, and to me, it looks so much better than that huge, ungodly, and unnecessary notch.
It's so much better than the notch on the 3 pixel. I mean, the notch, in addition to just being ugly, it got in the way of like using the phone. Like it would just block like notification and status icons in it. It was very annoying. Yeah, I mean, I prefer this design definitely. So what's your experience with Face Unlock been like?
So I actually really like Face Unlock. I love how fast it is. Like I said, I have an iPhone XR, so I'm used to using Face ID on it, and I really like that. So I was skeptical of how good Face Unlock was going to be because I didn't know how. I don't completely trust Google when it comes to taking a feature that is tried and true on another device and making it really good on Android. But this Face Unlock is great. I find that going straight to the home screen or whatever from unlocking just by looking at it, I thought that was a little weird at first, so I disabled it, but then I actually ended up re-enabling it because I think I like it better. The biggest thing with Face Unlock right now is just there's no app support. There's no app support, and that
I know it's I'm back to typing in passwords and banking apps, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, it's like I've never used a phone that feels so advanced and so far behind all at the same time. And that's pretty much the Pixel 4.
I wonder why it's just not plugged into like the same API. It's
a new like biometric prompt API. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like a newer version of that API just to support Face Unlock. And Google told me that they are working with developers to.
I mean, so it'll be months before we start to see apps that properly support it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Face Unlock it's plenty fast, and like the field of view is good enough that you don't have to hold the phone at like a weird angle. I feel like, I mean, I've seen people using iPhones and they like have to they point it like awkwardly like right at their face sometimes because it just doesn't seem to be working. But the Pixel is just sort of, I can just hold it in the way I would normally hold a phone, and it'll see me and unlock.
That's the experience I've always had with my XR. I've never had to move it. Like the range on my XR has always been super impressive, and I'm glad that the Pixel is the same. And so I tested it also with like sunglasses, and it was fine. I tested it with a hat, and it was fine. Hat and sunglasses, it was fine. But like yesterday, I was out on the bike, got a notification, grabbed my phone. Nope. Sunglasses and helmet is where it draws the line. It's like, no, that's no longer your head.
I've noticed if I like have sunglasses on and I'm in like really intense direct light, it seems to be a lot more picky. But one thing that I find like really impressive is it doesn't matter like what angle you hold the phone at. Like you can have the phone like sideways or upside down or whatever, and it still unlocks, which is something that the iPhone has had problems with.
No, the iPhone can. If it's not straight up, the iPhone can, where Pixel will work in any direction. I think they did a good job with Face Unlock. Aside from the fact, there are two things about. One, I think the most notable thing is that it does not have attention detection. Yeah. Which is, and they're saying it's going to be months before that's fixed.
It doesn't look for open eyes.
That's kind of a big deal.
I mean, I definitely think it should have that, especially because we saw leaks that had that as an option. In the Face Unlock settings. They should have it. I don't think it's like a deal breaker. No. I mean, I'm just not really worried about people like pointing my phone at my face while I'm sleeping to unlock it. But that might be a
No,
thing.
and I'm not either, but I feel like it should be an option. And it really, it only should be an option because people are gonna compare this to Face ID, and that's the big thing that Face ID. I mean, and Face ID's awareness detection is so good. I mean, it's incredibly good. Like, if I can hold my phone, my 10R here, and if my eyes are over there, it's not going to unlock until my eyes move right back to it. It's cool. It's a cool thing, and I think I'll be glad when Pixel gets it.
Yeah. It'll probably slow it down, I would assume. Maybe that's why it's not there at launch, because they wanted to be like, look, it's the fastest face unlock.
And that's actually a really good point, because I know that if you disable attention awareness on iPhone, that its Face ID becomes significantly faster. So you're probably right.
Yeah, the Pixel should definitely have this, and I'm probably going to leave it turned off because I just want it to be fast.
Yeah. So I did try, I mentioned earlier that I tried disabling where it goes straight to the home screen. Then it would just unlock. But one thing that I noticed is that if you tap on a notification on the lock screen, it is really, really slow to load the app when you have it set up that way, unless you go it. Whereas if you let it unlock the phone and then you tap on that notification directly from the shade, it's just as fast as it always was. So I thought that was really weird. That's another reason why I went ahead and re-enabled it, so it would go straight to the home screen after it unlocks.
Yeah. So the Face Match has a tie-in with the solely radar stuff, which Google calls it's motion sense. Is that what they call it?
Motion sense. Yeah.
So it knows when you reach for the phone, and it will wake up the face unlock sensors. That's like one of the two things that motion sense does right now, which is it's a little disappointing.
Yeah. So far I've used motion sense for that and to snooze my alarm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The alarm thing is actually kind of cool because when it goes off, if you reach for the phone, it'll lower the volume, and then you can swipe to
all you have to do is swipe your hand. But to me, that makes it so much easier for me to oversleep because I don't have to enter. I just swat towards my phone, and that's all it takes.
Yeah,
it's still cool though.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, I was playing with the music track skipping the other day. Like I had my phone casting to Google Home in my office, and I was just working swiping through songs, and there were some moments when I was doing that, and I got sort of really into the vibe of it. I was like, this is kind of fun and futuristic. I just wave my hand over here near the phone, and it's changing tracks. If that were one of many things that solely did, I'd be pretty into that. But the feature set is just so limited right now.
I mean, we pretty much named them all already, right?
Yeah. Google says more things will come later, but
I mean, it's so I feel like it should be integrated into Google Photos, just wave your hand to swipe through your photos or something like that. That seems to me even more practical than music controls. I cannot think of a situation. Well, maybe if I'm cooking or something, but in most situations, I'm not going to swap my hand towards my phone to change music tracks. To me, more than anything, that's just hey, look how accurate this is. Look how easily it works, instead of, hey, here's a practical use for it.
Yeah, I feel like the real test is going to be if Google can roll out new features for motion sense like they say they're going to. I mean, if we get 6 months down the line and there's nothing new for motion sense, then man, that's going to be, I think that'll indicate that it's a flop and it was a bad idea. They shouldn't have done it.
I mean, it's cool technology. And the fact that they were able to shrink a radar chip so small to fit into the bezel of a smartphone is awesome. And the uses, it works really well, and it's really accurate for the uses they have. But I absolutely agree with you. They've got to do more with it.
Yeah, I mean the demos they had way back when they first showed the Soli stuff. It was really impressive, the scrolling and the tapping and the virtual knobs to change volume. I want that stuff. I want to do all that. Yeah. Hopefully that's possible, but I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
And this could be a first generation thing where, we don't get all those super advanced features yet. And maybe in the future, it's maybe Pixel 6. You get super advanced 9 radar chips all the way around, bottom and top bezel. Could do you never have to touch your phone again.
Yeah, that'd be, that would
just use Google Assistant to control it and wave your hands like a maniac in front of it to get it to do things.
Yeah, So the displays this year, I think, are very good. Last year, the small Pixel had an LG panel that was kind of mediocre. This year, I think Ryan's been using the small one, and he is obsessive about display quality, and he has no complaints. So I'm pretty convinced that that one is fine. And the big one is the one that the XL is the one they sent to DisplayMate. Yeah, DisplayMate. To test, and it got an A+ and visually indistinguishable from perfect and all that junk that they say about every phone now. So like it's not a bad display. But the best thing about it is the 90 hertz refresh.
Yeah,
right? It's so smooth and excellent. And I mean, if you've used a recent OnePlus phone, you know what that is like. It's hard to go back to a 60 hertz phone after.
I can tell though. The interesting thing about the smooth display is that it's not always 90 hertz.
Right.
It's so like 90 hertz sometimes, or 90 hertz when it makes sense.
If you go to the into the settings, you can scroll around. Like I'm pretty sure that's only 60 hertz.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I feel like they're probably prioritizing the things where it'll really be obvious to you. Like the home screen looks amazing. Like scrolling around on the home screen and like opening the notification shade, that is all just buttery smooth and amazing. Yeah. And I mean, I guess supposedly OnePlus phones go down to 60 hertz sometimes too, but I haven't noticed it in the.
And I used the 7 Pro as my main phone for a while, and before I got the Pixel, I was reviewing the 7T. So I've been using 90 hertz phones for probably 6+ months, and I think that the OnePlus phones, even if they do drop down to 60, they use 90 hertz more often, I think, than Pixel 4 does.
Well, they have a lot more battery capacity to spare.
Right. There is a setting in developer options to force 90 hertz all the time on Pixels, but that's going to absolutely destroy the already terrible battery life.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd recommend doing it.
Yeah, I think people who are looking at buying a Pixel, like just buy the XL. The battery life is fine, and it's not that much bigger than the small Pixel. Like that's just the one to buy. Just do that.
If I were buying one today, that's absolutely what I would do, and that's ultimately when I do publish my full review. That's probably going to be my recommendation. If you want to buy a Pixel 4, buy the XL. Just skip the small one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of been the general consensus for the last couple of years, as long as you don't mind that the big one might be kind of ugly.
Yeah, but the big one looks just like the small one now, only a little bit bigger.
It's like the first gen. They're back to doing like the same design.
Yep.
For both phones.
And it's a very attractive design in my opinion. I was a little I didn't love the design at first. I had the white one, and I did not love the white when I first saw it, but after having it for about a week, I actually really, really like the white one now.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice looking phone. The matte glass is great. It doesn't show fingerprints.
I love the matte glass. It's my favorite part.
It's got like a nice texture, and like the metal rim around the edge, it has this really cool like eggshell sort of texture. It's just the right kind of grippy, and it has like good contrast with the rest of the phone.
Agreed.
I mean, if you get the black one, the entire phone is black, but like the orange and the white, they both have like the black rim, the black front, and then like the pop of color on the power button.
Yep.
It's good, and I don't even mind like the big camera module on the back. I feel like it's kind of it stands out in the right way.
Yeah, I originally hated it when I saw the renders or the leaks or everything, especially on the white model. I like the black model because the module blends in, but it took me like 2 days to get used to it, and I actually kind of like how that looks now. I like the black camera module. I mean, it is big for only 2 cameras, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Is there any other Pixel things that we want to dive into, or?
I think that's all the big stuff, really. Bluetooth is no better than it was on any other Pixel phone or any other phone in existence.
Oh, you know what? What does really upset me though is the Pixel 4 XL. They do not come with earbuds or a 3.5 millimeter adapter. That is a lame move, Google.
No, it really is. I mean, there's no headphone jack, and I mean, I want to know what the market research they did behind that was like. How did they figure that out? Like, everybody already has Bluetooth earbuds by now, anyway.
Yeah, I feel like you could at least include the adapter.
Yeah, which I have 3 of those adapters, but I'm also not, you're
not like most people.
Exactly. I probably have at least 3 of those. But yeah, I mean, like most people are going to be like, dude, like I
Yeah.
want the adapter.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
weird
don't blame them.
because last year they included the adapter and the earbuds, and this year they're like, nope, none of those. Same
Nothing.
price though.
Nothing. Yep. Yeah. That
Okay.
is seriously a lame move. Even though I'll never go back to like with my phone anywhere. Anyway, I'm always going to be Bluetooth earbuds. But
Yeah, I feel like most people have moved to that, but it's nice to be able to listen to music on the phone when you like take it out of the box without buying extra stuff.
true.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a little break from the newsy part of the show, and we're going to talk to you about the Android Police podcast, what it is and how you can support it. So the Android Police podcast is now live 3 times a week on Twitch. And thanks to your support, we want to keep doing that. If you're already subscribed, that is great, and we thank you. If you are not subscribed, you can go to twitch.tv/AndroidPolice. You can subscribe for as little as $5 if you want to use cash money. But if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. No additional cost on top of your Prime. You get 1 free subscription a month, and you can do that, and we get the money from Amazon to help us keep doing the show. You also get free extra entries in giveaways, and you get special badges and emojis in the Twitch chat. And you should definitely be in the chat while we're doing the show because we pay attention to what you say and we'll answer your questions. So you can get all of the details and subscribe by going to twitch.tv/AndroidPolice. And we will now go back to the show. We will talk about, we'll talk about the Pixelbook Go.
Man, I'm excited for the Pixelbook Go. Like, very. That's actually my favorite thing that was announced. I can't even I can't even hide it.
So I was kind of disappointed with the Pixelbook Go.
Really?
I wanted a Pixelbook 2, and this is a very different product.
It is a very different product, but I think there are a lot of things that I like better about it, honestly. I have a Pixelbook. I've had a Pixelbook since, I don't know, a few months after it launched. I have the i5 model, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. So, and I love it. It's my favorite laptop that I've ever owned, which is why I'm excited for the Pixelbook Go. Because as cool as the 3.2 display is, I prefer 16:9 displays. And I've had several, I don't want to say arguments, but discussions with people about why they think I'm wrong for preferring 16:9. But hey, I tend to
think
work.
You're wrong too, but
I mean, I tend to work horizontally more than I work vertically. So I don't mind losing a little bit of that vertical real estate.
So like on a desktop or a much larger device, I think widescreen is definitely preferable because I like to split screen apps. But on a laptop, it's just, I feel like, split screening on something that size is not really going to help me very much. And I prefer to have more vertical, scrollable space. So I was bummed that the Pixelbook Go isn't 3.2 like the Pixelbook. And I'm also not super happy that it's a regular laptop form factor. I wish it was a convertible like the Pixelbook.
Do you have a Pixelbook?
I do, yeah. I mean, the Pixelbook is my main laptop. It's what I take all the time when I travel. And I like it a lot.
Do you use it in tablet mode?
So my use case is slightly unusual. I put it into stand mode or tent mode so that I can plug a real keyboard into it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I knew this.
So yeah, I bring a tiny keyboard with me when I travel, which most people do not.
Yeah.
But that's why I prefer convertibles. But I
also think that makes a lot of sense. That's a pretty specific use case, but I see it. Yeah, because I literally never use my Pixelbook in tablet mode.
So one of the nice things about the Pixelbook though is when I'm in a situation when I can't use my actual mechanical keyboard, the Pixelbook's keyboard is fantastic, and the Pixelbook Go's keyboard I think is at least as good.
Oh, every bit. It's just quieter. It's the same keyboard but quieter.
I feel like it's got a little bit more bounce to it,
maybe.
And it's maybe slightly more tactile, which is I think a good thing.
Definitely.
I mean it's a fantastic keyboard. I mean I feel like the pricing is not. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like it should be a little bit cheaper than it is. You can get so many other Chromebooks that are pretty similar. I mean, unless you really, really care about having the better keyboard. then there's not really much you're getting with the Pixelbook Go you can't get with like, you know, a mid-tier like Dell or HP Chromebook.
Or I mean, I think the biggest competitor is going to be like the Asus, like the, what is it, C434? Yeah, because I had the original, I had the C302 before I went to before I got my Pixelbook, and it's, I mean, those are just so solid, solid. I think the nice thing about the Go is that they are like going entry level with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So, and I think that's a big deal. I don't know how most people use Chromebooks, but because my Pixelbook is my main laptop, I use it almost exactly like I use my desktop. So there have been there's been multiple occasions when I wish I would have gotten the 16 gig model. So that's another thing that I'm happy about with the Pixelbook Go. Like there's an i5 16 gigabyte model with 128 gigabytes of storage. And to me, that's like, for my use, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's
but you have to, but that one is like $1,000, right?
It is $1,000. Yeah. I get the part of the appeal is the fact that you can get an entry level one for $650. But the $1,000 model, I mean, that's what I paid for my Pixelbook. So I obviously don't mind paying that for a Chromebook. And you know, this one, yeah.
So I don't think that the Pixelbook Go looks nearly as good as the Pixelbook, though. I feel like it just looks like a very generic laptop, and the Pixelbook had such a stark and minimalist design. It just had a very, very good look, I think.
Yeah, I'm sold immediately on the fact that the Pixelbook Go comes in black. Like that to me, as soon as I saw that it comes in black, I'm like, dude, I'm sold right there. That was enough for me to go, yeah, I'm probably going to buy one of these because I'm a sucker for colors. I mean, I have a skin on my Pixelbook now because it does look really good by itself, but I prefer black gadgets. So, but yeah, I do agree with you. It would have been nice if they would have done like the glass top or the glass upper half like they did on the Pixelbook. If they would have done that just in a different shade for both models, that would have looked really sleek. Because it is understated. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like even like the physical shape of the Pixelbook was better. Like all of the hard edges and stuff. And the Pixelbook Go is very it's rounded. It looks, I don't know. I don't want to say that it looks cheap, but I feel like it looks not as expensive as the Pixelbook. But I mean, that's an aesthetic judgment, and a lot of people will probably disagree with me. But I don't know. The thing that really does irk me about Chrome OS is that there's still no good photo editing. That's because when I'm traveling and doing work stuff, it's usually fine. Like 90% of the time, it's great. I can get all my work done on Chrome OS and there's no problem. But then it's like, oh wait, I have to edit this photo. This is going to take me 3 times as long as it should.
3 times as long is absolutely true. And not only that, but a lot of times you'll have to use 4 different apps to achieve the same thing. Like that's I
wish that Google could have something that did just basic photo editing on Chrome OS.
Yeah. And they've teased that multiple times now. Remember when Photoshop was supposed to come to Chrome OS?
Yeah, they had that streaming test of Photoshop. We haven't heard about that for 6 years now.
It's been what happened? What happened with that idea? It was a great idea. I mean, we can get Photoshop on iPads now, but you can't have Photoshop on Chrome OS. I feel like this is a Google problem. This is not an Adobe issue.
So yeah, you guys have not. You also have not posted your full Pixelbook Go review, right?
No, actually,
we haven't even. The embargo hasn't even hit yet. I don't think. But
no, there's still a ways to go for the Pixelbook Go.
All right. Well, so have we gotten questions in the chat room that we should answer? Are they? Jules, are they? Nope. No questions. Nobody has any questions about the Pixel. Okay. I mean, I guess. Well, then if that is the case, I guess we'll start wrapping up the show here. Cam, do you have any things on the internet that people should look at?
I actually do. So, I don't know how many people have heard of Review Geek. Still pretty new. Where it's a sister site to How To Geek. So I pretty much run the show over there these days. So I encourage everybody to go check it out, reviewgeek.com. So there, and former Android Police editor Michael Kreider, he's there too. So we're both there. If anybody wants to come over and read what we're working on there these days. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Summerson, Instagram, Summerson.
Okay. So on Twitter, I am at Ryan Whitwam. Our producer, Jules Wang, is at Point Jules, and our theme music is by Home. We will be back on Wednesday with another show. There will also be a Q&A on Tuesday, I believe. We're still doing that every week. But until the next show, have a